Hi, and welcome to our AP YouTube series on AP classroom resources designed specifically for AP English language and AP English literature teachers. This section focuses on the question bank and using the right question at the right time. My name is Dana Koppelman, and I'm the Executive Director of AP Instruction at the College Board, and I'm excited to do a dive into this resource with you all today. By now, I hope you've had the opportunity to go throughout the AP YouTube channel and find this series of videos that we created to help provide you with tutorials for our AP classroom resources. There's one on the AP daily videos, one on topic questions, one on the progress checks in the progress dashboard, and this last session on using the right questions in the question bank. Before we go into the question bank, I want to provide a review of the incredible AP resources that have been created in partnership with expert AP teachers over the last few years. These resources are designed to support teaching and learning and to help complement what you're doing in your classroom with your students. In May of 2019, we rolled out our CEDs, or course and exam descriptions, for all of our courses. For English language and English literature, this included unit guides that divided your courses into 9 units and then further divided the units into the skills that would scaffold student understanding, allow them to practice, and build mastery over time. These unit guides gave you a 140-day instructional calendar to give you maximum flexibility, particularly during years like this, where there might have been lost instructional time due to the pandemic. In September 2020, we began to release a series of AP daily videos. These short segmented videos, led by leaders in the AP teaching community, help to provide supplementary resources to what you're already teaching. This backup band of educators helped go through each of the skills in a scaffolded manner to provide students with an understanding and practice building towards the end of the course. Coupled with the topic questions, which are daily checks for understanding or formative items that exist in AP Classroom, our hope is that students would get just-in-time feedback to begin to unpack their misunderstandings and take more ownership of their learning. Our personal progress checks were rolled out last year, but have been updated this year for English language. These end-of-unit assessments provide you with the feedback you need to help support your students and differentiate in structure, as well as give student feedback in the form of data and rationales to help them take ownership of their learning. The question bank is the last in the series of resources that exist on AP Classroom right now. This question bank allows you to create targeted and customized practice, as well as summative assessments for your students. The AP question bank can be used to create practice, homework assignments, as well as quizzes. Additionally, this is where the secure practice exams exist for your courses and should be leveraged towards the end of course, roughly March or April, to help prepare your students for the AP exam. There are thousands of real AP questions, and you can easily search them by skill, unit, course, and create the custom targeted assessment items that you need for your students. I want to now take a moment and go live into AP Classroom to show you what this looks like in the context of English literature. If you're able to follow along, please log in to myap.collegeboard.org, and you'll see that you end up in your AP Classroom landing page that should look similar to mine, though I have access to all of the AP courses as part of the fictional Trevor Packer High School. You should be able to see any courses for which you are course audit approved to teach. For today's demo, I'm going to go into English literature so that I can show you how to create custom quizzes for your students. Once you log into your course-specific page, you'll notice that the AP Classroom defaults to an outline that looks similar to your course and exam description. Under the Course tab are teacher resources that will help you navigate these resources and instruction in your classroom. The first is the digital version of the CED that we talked about a moment ago. In addition to AP Daily Videos overview, this PDF gives you the details of what's in every video so that you can help better plan instruction and know what instructors are acting as your backup band that particular unit. For those of you who might have lost instructional time in the fall of 2020, we've also created pacing guides for the flipped classroom, which I encourage you to look at should it be applicable to what you're doing. You'll then see that there are 9 units aligned to each of the units in your CED. Within those units are the skills that should be taught to your students with scaffolding to help provide a spiral of that skill and many repetitions of practice over each unit. Next to each skill are the aligned AP daily videos, and as you can see with the yellow light bulb icon, the topic questions, or checks for understanding. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll find the personal progress checks divided into multiple choice and free response sections for you to assign at the end of unit. For more details on the AP Daily videos, topic questions, or the progress checks, I encourage you to watch those tutorials on the AP YouTube channel. You can also access the progress checks in the progress dashboard using the tabs along the top. Before we get to the question bank, there are two other key features that I want to make sure you're all aware of in AP Classroom. The first is the instructional resource search. You can put in any course content, keywords, and search within any of the resources available on AP Classroom. This will allow you to customize your instruction with either the course materials or topic questions that might be relevant to exactly where you're at in your course and what you want to use with your students. If you need additional assistance with AP Classroom or want to increase your skills and become a super user, make sure to check out the Quick Tips, which provides short tutorial videos on specific assets within AP Classroom. If your students are using the iPads for all of their use, please make sure to go through and find the various videos that talk about updates to the lockdown browser and the changes that are coming to students who are on an iPad. Otherwise, you can use that Quick Tips to also look for how to use progress checks, topic questions, AP Daily videos, or the various nuances in the question bank. Let's go into that question bank. Once I click on the tab at the top, it brings me into the question bank that allows me to either search through all of the questions, in this case for English literature, any of the assessments I've already created, as well as the practice exams, which we'll talk about in a little while, and then review my students' results on any of the assessments that I create. In the questions tab, there are two options for how to search for questions. I can either build a quiz or browse for questions. You'll notice that build for quiz can't be started until you've started with what your first question will be. I can either search by keyword for what I want on my quiz, or I can use one of the 8 filters already there for me. Before I start to filter, I want to orient you to the types of questions in the question bank. If you tuned into our topic question tutorial in AP YouTube, you'll recognize these yellow light bulb icons. I also just showed them to you in the unit outlines. These icons call out to you that these are formative assessment items. These are the same questions that will appear on any topic quizzes that you create. You're welcome to use them and combine them with summative questions, but we want you to note that they might not be as rigorous as what you're going to see on the AP exam. If there's no icon next to a question, that means it is a summative item that has appeared on a previous CED, released exam, or other area. If it has the blue shield, that means it is one of our secure practice exam items, which should be given with the secure form, either in a secure classroom or using the lockdown browser on a digital device. Should your question have an orange bar to the left of it, that's indicating to you as the instructor that you've already used this question on another quiz, and you might want to leave it off of the current quiz you're building. Let's go back up to the filters. For this particular demonstration, I'm going to do a quiz by unit. I'll make a unit 7 quiz. I can further sort by skill and skill category, by assessment purpose. In this case, I want it to be summative, so I want to make sure to remove any of the AP topic questions. I can choose my exam alignment, either high, which means it directly correlates to the way in which the exam is administered in the current school year, or partial, possibly before the exam got updated, but still the content and skills that are relevant to be used in an in-class assignment. I'm going to leave it as both so that I get as many questions as possible. The big ideas and essential knowledge statement that exist within my course and exam description. Stimulus type, if I want to focus particularly on prose or poetry. Question type, in this case, I just want MCQ because I want AP Classroom to do the grading for me. And security. We'll go through FRQs in just a moment. For this, I just want to show you the MCQ quiz creation. Once I have it sorted, you'll notice that there are some secure practice exam items on here and many that aren't. Because I want to save my practice exams to administer in April to prepare my students for their AP exam, I'm going to avoid using those questions. So I'll start with this one. As soon as I pick my first question, I'm prompted to create my custom quiz. In this case, Unit 7. You'll notice it then shifts this Create a Quiz tab into the custom name I've given it. I'm going to either preview the question here, or find the other 8 questions that show the passage, or I'm going to go back to browse questions and simply select all the questions that I want to appear on my quiz. Once I've chosen enough, I can go into Unit 7 quiz, always making sure I save my quiz in case anything were to happen to my power source or I were to walk away from my computer for a prolonged period of time. And then there I can preview what my students will be assessed on. I'm provided with the prompt, the answer choices, and once I look at the question scoring and details, the alignment to the CED, as well as the right answer. Unlike formative assessment items, the summative assessment items do not have rationales built into the system. You as a teacher will need to unpack any misunderstandings your students might reveal after taking their quiz. I have the opportunity to not just preview the questions, but also to shift the order in which my students take them, should I believe that one passage is more applicable than the other. From there, I'll assign the quiz. I can choose to assign it to one or all of my classes. I can choose online or in print. I can choose to have it graded as soon as the students submit their answers or not. I can do a start, end date, or timer. Timer, maybe if you're giving it in an asynchronous session that you want students to complete it within that window. Or in my case, I want it to be practice. So I'm going to give it a 2-day window. So my students know that's when they need to complete their quiz. And I'm going to go ahead and assign it. You'll see it appears here with the start date, the due date, and the fact that no one has submitted it because I don't have any true students sitting in my class taking these questions in real time. After your students have completed your assessment, you should see the status marked as complete. So in this case, for my Unit 9 quiz, both of my sections completed this. I can use the actions to duplicate, view results, or reassign should I want to reopen this and give it to students. Or I can simply go over to the results tab and see how my students did based on how I filter this for either all classes, by section, or by students. If I look at that same Unit 9 quiz, I have 2 ways to go into it, either clicking on the quiz using this hyperlink, or looking at it from an individual student level, clicking in to the larger view of how my students did and each of the quartiles in which the students fell for the number of answers they got right over the total number of questions asked. For the purposes of this, I'm going to though go into the quiz as a whole because I want to see how my whole class did in case I need to adjust a lesson before teaching a new or more difficult skill the next day. Here I have 2 different views, the question view, where I can see overall where my students were successful or where they might have struggled, and the student view. Once in the question view, I can look very carefully, in this case at the poem that my students all seem to get wrong, the prompt, and then where each of the students seemed to struggle the most in terms of how they differentiated the answer choices and what they selected. I can go in and see where additional practice questions are, so that for students who struggled most, I give them ample time to learn and course correct misunderstandings and build mastery. Particularly useful this year as we're in virtual and hybrid environments is the student tab. This tab gives me a quick view of how the students did as a whole, but it also allows me an individual view to help coach students, in this case, Patrick Stanford, on the questions he got wrong, leveraging what he got wrong on each of those questions. I can provide further practice as well as related skill and big idea supplemental instruction based on what I see from Patrick's results. Again, multiple choice questions can all be graded within the AP Classroom system, getting you the data you need in real time so that you can best inform your students and adjust your instruction. FRQ can also provide great feedback for students and is something teachers should preview and be prepared to start to grade, leveraging the criteria that students also will see on the AP exam. In this case, I'm going to show you an FRQ for Unit 9. And just how you can see the preparation needed for students to succeed. So here are all the FRQs. There are some that are topic questions. So this probably appeared in Unit 9 on the outline on the previous home screen. The rest are FRQs from previous exams. When I go into preview 1, in this case, it's a literary argument, I'm shown the prompt, I'm shown the stimuli, and what my students will see when they go to write their response. In order to understand what my students will need to do to be successful on this prompt, I can review the question scoring and details. I can see what information, meaning the essential knowledge and skills students need to be successful. And then at the bottom, I can preview the interactive scoring guidelines that come directly from the rubrics used at the AP readings each June. This shows me the points that my students can be rewarded in each of the rows of the rubric, as well as the criteria necessary to get each of these levels of points. Once your students submit their free response questions into your assessment, you'll be able to grade them with these interactive systems, as well as provide personalized commentary should you choose to do so. Again, all FRQs have those rubric details and allow you to provide real-time feedback to your students to help them best prepare for the free response question section of your exam over time. The last feature within the question bank is the practice exams. There are 3 aligned secure practice exams for every course in the AP suite of courses. For English language, or English literature in this case, excuse me, there's the 2017, 2018, and 2019 International Practice Exam. For English language, because there was a difference in some of the new assessment types, there are new exams that exist within the question bank. We've already pre-sorted these forms for you and included the shield so that you'll remember to use the lockdown browser should you assign these online. From this screen, I can assign the quiz using that same assign window to some or all of my classes. The window will remind you about using the secure lockdown browser, which if you click on, you can learn more about. It will allow you to choose print or online. If you print, your classroom should be given in a secure environment. Your students can have their results immediately if you allow students to see results after scoring. And most importantly, you need to attest that you have read through the details on using secure items. So please make sure you read the security update differentiating our formative assessment items, meaning our progress checks and our topic questions, from our summative items, both those from previous exams or those from the secure practice exams, so that you know that you have agreed to be using the secure lockdown browser should you choose, as I am right now, to give these in an online format. It defaults to enable the lockdown browser. I can choose a start and an end date for when my students take these, and I can assign it. You'll see that it is now assigned with a start and a due date, but again, I don't have students, so they haven't submitted their responses yet. Once I do, both the assessment as well as my students' responses will appear in the results tab and will allow me to go through and course correct misunderstandings and help coach students to better understand their exam. So again, within the question bank, our formative items, our topic questions, past summative items, as well as our secure practice exam items. The practice exams, we encourage you to wait till the end of your course to use to help get your students ready and practicing for the AP exam. You can create quizzes using either a search feature or one of our filters. Review your saved assessments in the Assessments tab, and continue to review results to coach your students and help improve their performance throughout the course of the semester. I want to take a moment now to thank you all for joining us in this tutorial and for all that you do for your students throughout the academic year. We appreciate that you tuned into the AP YouTube channel and encourage you to check out the other AP Classroom Resources tutorials if you haven't yet. Wishing you the best spring and a great rest of your school year. Thank you.